So when we talk of the concept of regionalism, and because before understanding the institutional format, let's get the concept clear, okay? So the theme in the syllabus is certainly regional organizations, but until you understand regionalism, you will not get what is the idea that goes behind formation, expansion, working of institutions, okay? So let's start with regionalism in international relations. So you must have heard this term for sure. And when you have heard this term till date, I'm sure you have understood it in the regional context within the boundaries of India, okay? But you would have not understood the concept of regionalism within international system, how it is being viewed in the international system. So when we say concept of regionalism, it derives from what? Which means if we are doing cooperation or building institutional frameworks around some idea, what is the concept behind it? The concept behind is region. So obviously we all know what a region is, and you all understand regions how? Everybody, when you hear the term region, understand it as a geographical concept, okay? So regions may be something which are similar in climate, you know, they may be similar in soil pattern, they may be similarly located, okay? That's how we have always understood region, but that is the concept that can be valid for geography. Yes? But when we look at regions in politics, it is different. Is this clear? Which means when we talk of regions in politics, what kind of concept is it? Is it a static concept? No. It is a fluid concept. What do you mean by fluid? What is the difference between fluid and dynamic? Dynamic means changing. When we say fluid, which means there is no fixed idea of this concept. When I say something is fluid, which means it is always debatable. So when something is debatable, which means it is what kind of concept? It is a contested concept. And why is it that we say concept of region is fluid? Because the concept of regionalism and region will change as per a country's national interest and not merely being determined by the static geography in which it is located. For example, institutionally and geographically both, India is part of South Asia, yes, but it is participating in Eurasia, in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, yes or no? So this idea, or when we were studying Pakistan, we say that though Pakistan is part of South Asia, it associates more with identity wise with West Asia, with Middle East. Is it there or no? So when we say national interest and identity, that is how it makes it fluid. For example, a very apt example would be the concept associated with the country Mexico. So Mexico is a case example when we talk about how the concept of region and where one belongs to is very, very fluid or very, very contested. It is very difficult to define or confine it within one zone, okay? So when we say Mexico, Mexico is by the economic virtue part of a free trade area called as US-Mexico-Canada Agreement, which was earlier called as NAFTA, North America Free Trade Area. So by that virtue, Mexico is part of North America because it is part of that free trade area, right? It is part or member also of the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. So by that virtue, because it is on the eastern side of the Pacific, so by that virtue it is member of APEC. By history, colonization, language, it is inheritance, a member of Latin American countries. Culturally, it is very also closer to the Central Americas. So Mexico is a fluid example. Similarly, when we talk about Afghanistan, Afghanistan also becomes fluid example, because we see it is the core of Eurasia, the heartlands closest. What is the core of Eurasia is Central Asian countries, and closest to them. Institutionally, originally it is not part of South Asia, which means SAARC. Institutionally, it becomes member of SAARC in 2007. Yes or no? Now it has applied for membership for SCO also. So, region, when you understand in politics, are contested concept. They are ever changing, and national interest and identity define them. A very important region that emerged geostrategically, geopolitically, or called as a geostrategic category, we call it as the Indo-Pacific region. Yes or no? But everybody's understanding of Indo-Pacific is as per their interest. How, maybe even though we are converging, the whole Quad members, all four converge because of challenges that are there with respect to Chinese behavior. But what is the significance of the Pacific for America? Is the Indian Ocean of the same significance? No, but for India, Indian Ocean is of higher significance because it is of primacy. Okay, so that's what makes what region as a fluid concept, a contested concept, a changing concept. So it is based on national interest that the idea of regions change. Is this understood, or how things evolve? Clear? Now, so institutionally, we may be closer to a member of one organization. Politically, we may feel close to another. Economically, we may be part of another. Is this understood? So regions are changing concepts. They are varying concepts. They are fluid concepts. They are contested concepts. And the concept of regionalism derives from this changing idea of region, as understood in politics and in the realm of international relations. So what is regionalism? Regionalism refers to how there is cooperation on the basis of the region, the imagined community that we are. Okay? So when we say something is an ism, okay, which means something is an idea. So regionalism is the cooperation on the basis of this idea of region. Is this clear? So what is the kind of cooperation, issues, challenges, and how we can together as a shared community build over it. Is this clear? That is regionalism. And on the basis of this institutional framework जो है, वो क्या है? The institutional framework is regional organization. Is this clear? So for example, if I have to very simplify it, human rights is an idea, Human Rights Commission is an institution to implement that. Simple, a coordinate and programs of the human rights. Yes, so coordinate and activities of the members of the region. Clear? Now, how has regionalism in the world evolved? Was it always a very strong idea? Was it always there? No. In fact, when we talk about regionalism in the Cold War era, so effectively regionalism was there prior to the Cold War era also, but not very strong, which means there is, Europe as a region. But Europe as a region is not doing cooperation, they are fighting each other. Yes? When we come in the Cold War era, regional organizations evolved in the nature of more with respect to security cooperation. What? Security cooperation becomes very strong. But as we see at the end of 1990s, the economic character within organizations also become, and then there is also very expansive nature of the kind of issues they are working on. and there is more cross-regional issues also which will be taken up. So Gaza, Iran will be taken up in an SEO also. Yes or no? So why it was security character largely in the Cold War era? Because effectively the world was divided between two major powers, and they had created that Warsaw Pact, the Marshall Plan. So how they are dividing regions, but these organizations do not emerge as very successful alliances in this era, you know, for doing anything which is more guided with mutual benefit of economic or technological nature, but largely based on security based cooperation, military cooperation. Is this clear? So protecting their borders from the adversaries, enemies, whoever the other bloc considers. So that was how in the Cold War era organizations took, but they didn't have very long lasting character because there were always divides that were created. But effectively, when the economic character of globalization becomes very, very strong in the world, it is only then that we see the advent of regionalism becoming more in the positive and constructive engagement. Is this clear? So that is how the concept of regionalism has evolved. Regional organizations' nature changes in the passing time.